The 4th of July may be over, but fireworks are going off left and right in Tuscaloosa as Alabama picks up yet another 5-star commit for the class of 2026. Jira Edwards, safety out of Maryland, made it known he's headed down south, joining the Crimson Tide, joining forces with Kalen DeBoer, and that brings Alabama's total to 5 stars in the class of 2026. So to all the Kalen DeBoer doubters out there, I'm just going to ask you one question. What more are you waiting to see? What's going on, SEC Unfiltered? It's Cole Thompson here. Like the video, hit the ring notification. Crimson Tide faithful, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we're talking about your team. We're talking about Alabama not going anywhere anytime soon. Make sure that you're following us on all social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SEC Unfiltered. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. And as always, we're proudly fueled by our friends over at FanDuel. Go visit FanDuel.com/SECU to get started and win $250 in bonus bets when you lay down your first $5 bet. Could be on Ty Simpson winning the Heisman Trophy, the over-under win totals for Alabama. Place your early odds now well in advance for 2026. Alabama winning back-to-back national titles, why don't you? And when you do so, go to FanDuel.com/SECU. What Alabama is doing is unheralded right now for Kalen DeBoer. And I understand. When Kalen DeBoer was hired away from Seattle, Washington, you had your doubters. And I'm not going to go ahead and sugarcoat it. I get the reasoning. It takes a special brand to make it work in the SEC. And it takes a very special coach to come on in and replace who is the greatest to ever do it. Walk the sidelines at Bryant-Denny Stadium. But I was also one of the very few that came out and said, listen, you can't go with the Saban disciple. You can't go bring in a Lane Kiffin or a Steve Sarkisian because people are going to want to run it their way, just like Nick did. They're going to want to see a certain path. And that's probably not going to work that well. But you know what is working well? Time, patience, and building an identity, which is what Kalen DeBoer has done. And I get it. Last season, 9-4, certainly not the standard in Tuscaloosa. The on-field play, losses to Vanderbilt, losses to that Oklahoma team, losses to that Michigan team in the bowl game, it's inexcusable. But Kalen DeBoer needed an entire year to get priorities straight, to set his own image, and to make sure that he surrounded himself with the right people who were going to land him the proper players in all of these one-on-one battles that come down in the Southeastern region. And that's a testament to Courtney Morgan. That's a testament to all the people who are donating. That's a testament to the boosters. That's a testament to the scouting department, targeting the right names, getting it out in advance and saying, hey, we want you to continue the legacy of what is built by Bama football. And they're doing that. It's one thing to land a player like Jira Edwards. It's another thing to constantly find yourself in this position. Alabama, at the time of this recording, has 5 stars according to the On3 rankings. There's only one school that is even close to them. No school has more than 2 at this point in 5-star talent. Alabama has 5. And they're still going to be in the running, flip whoever they want before early signing period. They're still going to be in the running to land multiple players who are currently unsigned, whether that be a Davon Benjamin, whether that be potentially you go after a wide receiver, say, I don't know, a Salese Moa, maybe you go after a Caden Profo. You can land any one of these guys simply by saying this is the standard in Tuscaloosa. And the other thing that's really important here, look at the type of talent that he's going after. Like, yeah, last season, top 3 recruiting class, all great. We're glad to see Alabama land certain players that probably were good fits. But they weren't the ones that most people remember. And when Nick Saban was running the show, he wasn't losing battles to LSU or to Georgia most often. He wasn't losing battles to Auburn. And that really wasn't the case last year as Kalen DeBoer was kind of getting his feet wet, kind of figuring out his first recruiting class, trying to make sure that he laid down the foundation while also establishing a coaching environment down in Tuscaloosa that could continue the legacy of what we saw just a few years ago with Nick Saban. So that's another thing. And this is also in an era of NIL where players are certainly being bought for their rights. Some players don't care about where they end up going. They just care about going to the highest bidder. And I'm not doubting that or saying that's wrong for college football. I'm just saying that's the name of the game. Look at where these players are coming this year. It's not California. It's not Oregon. It's not Arizona. It's not Texas. And those players are good and you'll take them. You absolutely will. But Sadarian Morgan, a 5-star wide receiver, the number 1 player in the state, comes from Alexander City, Alabama. Jordan Edmonds, the number 2 cornerback in the country, comes from Marietta, Georgia. Xavier Griffin, number 3 player in the state, number 2 linebacker in the country, comes from Gainesville, Georgia. Xavier Crowell comes from Jackson, Alabama. Nolan Wilson, 4-star defensive lineman, Pucane, Mississippi. Zion Gibson, number 11 cornerback in the country, Gadsden, Alabama. Jamarian Matthews, an edge player, comes from Gainesville, Georgia. Jet Tamala comes from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, you got guys coming everywhere. And that's kind of the beauty of it. You're now winning these battles and you're saying, hey, Auburn's a great school. Georgia's great. LSU's fantastic. Tennessee, they're doing good things up there with Josh Heupel. I know they made the playoff last year, but you want to come and be properly prepared for NFL life. You come down to Tuscaloosa. That's where you go. And he's winning those battles now. So not only has he proven to you with his on-field results, hey, I'm a really good coach. Showed you at Fresno State, showed you at Washington, 2 years in a row, 11-plus wins, and a national championship appearance. And I was able to go ahead and put Kirby Smart on skates for a first half in that matchup. So don't kid yourself. Brian Kelly as well made easy living out in Tiger Stadium one night. Great coach, proving that he can be a great recruiter as well. All the pieces are coming together for Alabama. And so now you're got to ask yourself, what happens if recruiting doesn't take a dip? What if recruiting continues to only go on the upturn and more 5-stars are looking at Alabama and saying, proof is in the product. It wasn't just the Saban tax. And you will lose some players that absolutely would have never considered going anywhere else but Alabama so long as Nick Saban was calling the shots. But you're also going to land some players that probably said, you know what? It's not for me. It's not for me to go to Tuscaloosa. I'd rather go make my own legacy down in Gainesville. I'd rather go make my own prophecy out in Columbia, South Carolina. Or I'd rather go to the Longhorn State and go play with Texas. I'd rather go over to Mississippi State and be a big fish in a small pond. Now you have the opportunity to say, we're landing great players. We're developing great players. We're retaining great players. The people that we have in our building are built to last here. And you add all this together and then wonder, hey, what's Alabama going to be like in 3 years? Multiple college football playoff appearances? I can only assume that that's a guarantee. Multiple national championships in a decade? I could say so. Maybe not in the next 5 years, but you give me 7, 8 years with Kalen DeBoer and what he's doing, Courtney Morgan and how he's working behind closed doors to make sure they bring in the right type of talents as the general manager, that scouting department getting well advanced to make sure that they're targeting kids from all across the country and landing the best version of those kids for when they show up in Tuscaloosa, they're well prepared. It's really hard not to assume that Alabama hasn't gone anywhere. It's like they just went through the car wash and now it's a fresh set of paint. It's a nice little, the detail on the rims is all good. Yeah, and maybe it's a new driver behind the wheel. That's all you got. That's what Alabama is at this point. They're not only landing great talent, they're knowing what they're willing to pay for great talent, and they're staying ahead of the curve. And in today's NIL perspective, it's really hard not to be impressed with what Kalen DeBoer is doing because it's so easy to be at Texas Tech or at SMU, or you can go to Texas A&M or Illinois or Indiana and say, here's $4 million. Come be our star defensive lineman. Come be our elite shutdown cornerback. And a kid sees $4 million and they go, absolutely excited to go play in Champaign, Illinois. Sign me up for University Park in Dallas, Texas. It takes something special to continue to sell what is the standard and the tradition down in Tuscaloosa. And Kalen DeBoer is doing that. It's why the fireworks are going off right now. It's why everybody should be elated on the message boards because Alabama isn't slowing down anytime soon. It's just the next chapter. That's what they have. Before we get on out of here, there is one thing I want to say. What Nick Saban did in a time period of college football will never be duplicated. So don't go and try to compare Kalen DeBoer to Nick Saban. It doesn't work. What Saban was doing was being able to retain talent, keep talent extremely happy, and build a roster that was filled to the brim of future NFL day one potential that was sitting for 2 years before they finally got a shot. You're not going to get that in today's college football. And you're not going to get that anywhere, not just at Alabama. You won't get it at Georgia. You won't get it at Florida. You won't get it at Texas most years. But what Kalen DeBoer is doing is making sure that he targets the right names and gets ahead of it. making sure that as well, he is keeping his kids happy while also retaining the right talent behind. Alabama is building itself up for a new legacy in Tuscaloosa, and it's going to be a pretty sweet story. It may not be 7 national titles. It may not be 13 SEC championships. It may not be 14 college football playoff appearances, but they are a threat every single year. Again, nothing has changed. Last season was a one and done. It was the outlier of all outliers that we know when it comes to this sport. Instead, looking at this version of Alabama, this is the one that should send shivers down your spine. He already knows how to coach. Kalen DeBoer already knows what type of talent he needs at quarterback to be successful. He already knows what he's looking for at wide receiver. 1,000 yards in Seattle was doing it on the daily. He's got a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback. Now he's landing the right recruits. It's now what you want to ask yourself. Did Alabama really ever go away? Or were they just kind of giving you a chance to catch on up before they said, that was cute. Now it's our time to show up to the party. But let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of Alabama's 5 stars already committing before the month of August, before SEC Media Day? What do you think of Alabama's future with Kalen DeBoer going into 2025 and beyond? Like, review, hit subscribe. Crimson Tide faithful, make sure that you're locked on into SEC Unfiltered every single day for content. Check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson. Download the podcast version of the show. And make sure that also you go follow us on social media at SEC Unfiltered. Until next time, folks, I am Cole Thompson. Crimson Tide faithful. Roll Tide. Things are pretty sweet in Titletown. Peace.